Hi, I'm Les Vegas. Today, we're talking about the Universal Audio aux amp top box. We'll go over what it is and hear how it sounds using this Matchless SC Mini tube combo amp, JHS NOTAKLÖN overdrive pedal, and this gorgeous Gibson ES-335 from Sounds.com. If you want to learn how to properly connect the aux and use the aux software app, check out my other video at the link above. First, let's talk about what the aux is not. Aux is not an amp modeler like a Line 6 Helix or an amp modeling plugin like Amplitude. Aux is also not an amp profiler like a Kemper. The aux does not model other amps and does not capture a profile of your amp. The aux is a reactive load box, speaker attenuator, and guitar recording system, allowing you to play and record your tube amp in its tonal sweet spot at any volume and capture professional guitar recordings in any room. It takes your amp and essentially runs it through modeled speaker cabinets, microphones, effects, and the sound of a professional recording studio. Nearly any guitarist that's owned a tube amp will tell you that in order to get the best sound out of your amp, you need to crank it up to get that speaker drive, cone cry, and edge of breakup sound we're all after. But when you have family or neighbors, it's either really hard or impossible to record your amp at loud volume levels when inspiration strikes late at night. This is what the aux is perfect for. With its stepped 5-position speaker volume knob, you can crank your amp as loud as you want, but then control how much volume comes out of the speaker. Also, with its built-in speaker headphone jack and line outputs, you can play your cranked amp all night using nothing but headphones for a completely silent operation. In addition to solving the age-old problem of not being able to play your guitar amp whenever you want, it's also the perfect solution to getting a pro-sounding guitar recording in any room. If you've ever tried miking up a guitar amp and recording it at home, you've probably been surprised and perplexed by just how thin or weak it sounds. It doesn't sound anything like it does in your room, and it typically lacks bass, top end, and air. Well, that's because guitars on your favorite records are typically recorded in pro studios with rooms that were designed and intended to be recorded in, and use anywhere from 1 to 4 mics, often with 2 mics on the amp and 2 mics capturing the sound of the amp in the room. So, in order to get that sound at home, you may find yourself buying 1 cheap dynamic microphone, 1 expensive ribbon mic, and 2 really expensive tube mics, only to find that it still sounds like junk because it's being recorded in a room that was intended for sleeping in, with hardwood floors, parallel walls, glass windows, and maybe even a vaulted ceiling. The aux takes care of all of that with its high-quality emulated speaker cabinets, close mics, room mics, and 4 studio effects including EQ, compression, delay, and reverb. With the included aux software app for Mac, Windows, and iPad, you can choose from 22 vintage and modern speaker cabinets, 6 room mics, and 6 cabinet mics in Universal Audio 610 studios in California. You can even add a rug for dampening or position the mic on or off axis. It comes with over 125 presets that you can audition, tweak, and save. Plus, with Universal Audio's dynamic speaker modeling, you can use the speaker breakup knob to control the harmonics and sonic complexity that occurs only at certain frequencies and volume levels on various speakers, far beyond a static impulse response system, giving you the same sonic phenomenon that occurs with a real speaker cabinet. On the front panel, the 6-position rig control allows you to quickly choose any one of your top 6 rigs, complete with their emulated speakers, mics, and effects. The room control allows you to dial in the desired amount of mic'd studio ambience and air. Speaker volume adjusts the volume of the guitar speaker cabinet connected to the aux from 0 for silent operation to 5 for max volume. This outputs pure analog amp tone only and does not include emulation or effects. The line out knob adjusts the output level of the stereo line or monitor outputs, and the headphone knob adjusts the volume sent to headphones connected to the stereo 1/4-inch TRS unbalanced headphone jack. On the rear panel, we have the power switch, a 4-pin locking XLR power input for the included external power supply, a Wi-Fi status LED, a reset switch used to reset the aux's Wi-Fi settings and return aux back to its factory default settings, 3 USB ports that aren't functional at this time, coax and optical stereo SPDIF digital output, foot switch input which accepts 1, 2, and 3 button foot switches with TS and TRS plugs for external control of aux's built-in effects. The from amplifier input is aux's reactive load input. Connect a 1/4-inch speaker cable between your amp speaker output jack and this red input jack. The signal received here is attenuated or soaked by the reactive load, then passed to the two-speaker output jack. The two-speaker output is where the guitar amp's attenuated speaker signal with AUX's reactive load is output. Connect your speaker cabinet or combo amp speaker here with another 1/4-inch speaker cable. The 3-position impedance knob sets the reactive load impedance that's present at AUX's from amplifier input and your amp speaker output. This can be set to 4, 8, and 16 ohms and should be set to match the speaker output impedance of your speaker cabinet or combo amp. The left and right line monitor outputs are for connecting aux to the analog line level stereo inputs of studio monitors, an audio interface, or other audio equipment. Both 1/4-inch jacks can accept balanced TRS or unbalanced TS connections. And here is where you can find the serial number along with the hotspot name and password for its built-in wireless Wi-Fi network. The Universal Audio aux amp top box currently sells for $14.99 on Zounds.com. If you're interested in purchasing an aux, please help support this channel by using the link above or in the description below. It takes you straight to the product page, and Zounds shares a percentage of the sale with me. Plus, Zounds is a great place to shop. They make it possible for all of us to own top-of-the-line analog hardware like this with their split payment option. There's no credit checks, no interest, and free 2-day shipping. Just place your order and it's at your door in 48 hours. It couldn't be easier. And Newsweek magazine ranked Zounds #1 in customer service for the past 2 years in a row, besting all the biggest names in music retail. Alright, let's hear how it sounds. For this demo, we'll be using this Matchless SC Mini tube combo amp and this Gibson ES-335. First, we'll hear how the amp sounds when recording in the 2 most common ways without using an expensive ribbon mic or 2 stereo room mics. We'll record the first take direct using the line out on the back of the amp. Then, I'll mic up the amp centered on the dust cap on axis right in the middle of the speaker. Next, we'll listen to my top 6 rigs with all emulated speaker cabinets, mics, and effects on so we can hear how it enhances the sound of our guitar recordings. For each rig, I'll play a couple of bars using only the aux, then I'll kick on the NOTAKLÖN to see how the aux and emulated speaker cabinets handle pedals. Each pass was recorded with my Apogee Symphony at 44K and level matched to -21 LUFS. For all mic recordings, I used a Shure SM57 with my API 512V preamp, and the guitar was played on the bridge pickup with all tone and volume knobs on 10. Alright, let's do it. And here's how the amp sounds in the room at all 5 speaker volume levels. So, what do you think? Do you see how the aux is perfect for playing and recording guitar at home at any time of day? What do you think of the sound and features? Let me know in the comments below. Again, if you want to learn how to properly connect the aux and use the software app, check out my other video at the link above. Also, I made these test files available in high quality, 44K, 32-bit WAV files to compare in your DAW. You can download them at the link in the description below. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.